Dear brothers and sisters, stop doubting. Believe in Allah during difficult times and everything will change. Have you ever felt that life has become too heavy? That every door you try to open seems to close and every plan you make falls apart? My dear brothers and sisters, I want to remind you today of something so powerful that it can change your entire reality. Stop doubting Allah. When difficulties surround you, when worries keep you awake at night, the first thing the devil whispers in your heart is, Allah has abandoned you, nothing will work out. But this is a lie. Allah never abandons His servants, not even for a second. Sometimes the challenge is not that Allah is distant, it's that your faith has wavered. Life is full of tests. The Prophet, peace be upon, said that no servant is tested according to his level, except that Allah knows the strength of his heart. Trials are not punishments, they are opportunities. Opportunities for your faith to grow, for your patience to deepen, and for your reliance on Allah to become unshakable. Imagine standing in a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, and the darkness seems endless. Now imagine holding a rope tied firmly to a rock. That rope is your trust in Allah. When you cling to it, the storm cannot sweep you away. But if you let go and doubt, you drift helplessly. Doubt is what shakes hearts. Belief is what steadies them. Do you know the beauty of true belief? It doesn't mean that the storm disappears immediately. It doesn't mean that the pain vanishes at once. No, my dear brothers and sisters, true belief means you continue forward, even when you cannot see the path. Trusting that Allah knows, Allah sees, and Allah is sufficient. Look at the stories of those who trusted Allah in the hardest moments. Prophet Ayub, peace be upon him, lost everything, his wealth, his health, his family. Yet he did not doubt. He said, indeed adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. And Allah responded to his patience. Everything was returned to him, multiplied, because he never allowed doubt to weaken his heart. Sometimes we feel abandoned because we are focused on the wrong timeline. Allah's timing is perfect. What seems delayed is not denial, it is preparation. What seems lost is not rejection, it is redirection. What seems painful is not punishment, it is purification. Believe that Allah is working behind the scenes, arranging what is best for you, even if you cannot yet see it. So, my advice today is simple but profound. Stop doubting. Stop questioning the wisdom of Allah. Stop comparing your journey with others. And start trusting. Begin every morning with the words, "O Allah, I rely on you. I believe in you. I trust you with everything in my life." Let that be your armor, your shield, your light. Remember, nothing is permanent except Allah. And when your heart is filled with certainty in Him, miracles happen. Doors open that were once closed. Hearts are healed. Opportunities appear where there seemed to be none. And the impossible becomes possible, not by your power, but by the power of Allah. Doubt weakens. Belief strengthens. When facing difficulties, doubting Allah makes the heart unstable, but trusting Him acts like a rope in a storm, keeping you steady and resilient. Have you ever noticed how a small seed of doubt can take root in the heart and slowly grow into a forest of worry? Doubt is dangerous, my brothers and sisters, because it affects more than just our thoughts. It affects our actions, our decisions, and ultimately our peace of mind. When we allow doubt to creep in, we begin to question the mercy of Allah, the wisdom of His plans, and even our own ability to endure the trials He sends our way. This is why the heart becomes restless, the mind overburdened, and the soul weakened. But the opposite is also true. True belief in Allah strengthens the heart in ways that the world cannot. It acts as a shield in times of difficulty, a rope that anchors us in the storm, and a source of light when everything around us seems dark. When a person truly believes, they no longer rely solely on what they can see or control. They trust in what Allah has promised, knowing that He is the all-knowing, the all-wise, and the most merciful. Doubt often whispers in our hearts during the toughest moments, convincing us that Allah has forgotten us or that our prayers are unanswered. It tells us that our struggles are endless, our pain unbearable, and our efforts meaningless. But this is a deception of Shaitan. He wants us to abandon hope, to turn away from Allah, and to seek temporary relief in things that cannot truly help us. When doubt takes over, our vision narrows. We begin to see only the difficulties and ignore the blessings that surround us. We focus on what we lack rather than on what we have. And most dangerously, we start believing that we are alone in our trials. Belief, however, has the power to reverse this. When you hold on to faith, the same storm that once threatened to sweep you away becomes a means of growth and strength. The difficulties do not disappear, but your ability to face them increases. The weight of worry does not vanish, but your heart becomes lighter because you trust that Allah is with you. Belief transforms the mind and the heart. It allows you to move forward even when the path is uncertain, even when every outward sign seems bleak. It gives you patience when you feel like giving up, and it fills you with hope when despair surrounds you. Belief reminds you that no matter how severe the test, Allah knows your capacity to endure it, and He will never burden a soul beyond what it can bear. Think of a rope tied to a rock in the middle of a raging river. The current is strong, the waves are high, and the water is cold and relentless. If you cling to the rope, you are safe. You can endure the storm, hold your ground, and eventually reach solid land. But if you let go, you are carried away by the current, tossed helplessly, and you lose your chance to survive. This is the reality of doubt and belief in our lives. Doubt is the letting go, belief is the holding on. The rope is your trust in Allah, and it is firm, unbreakable, and steadfast. No storm is too strong for it, no challenge too great. When you anchor yourself in Allah, your heart becomes unshakable, and your faith gives you the courage to face whatever comes. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that true believers are those whose hearts are firm, who remain steadfast in worship, and who do not waver in the face of adversity. Belief is not merely a word we say, it is a state of the heart, a commitment to trust Allah regardless of circumstances. When doubt enters, we must recognize it for what it is and counter it with reminders of Allah's mercy, His promises, and the countless times in our own lives when He has guided us through hardship. Every difficulty you have survived is proof that Allah has not abandoned you. Every answered prayer, every moment of relief, every blessing, big or small, is a sign that He is with you and that your faith is not misplaced. So, my brothers and sisters, the choice is clear. Doubt will weaken you, keep you fearful, and prevent you from experiencing the blessings Allah has prepared. Belief will strengthen you, steady your heart, and open doors of mercy and ease that you cannot even imagine. When life becomes overwhelming, when the night seems too long and the burdens too heavy, hold tightly to your faith. Let your trust in Allah be your anchor, your source of strength and your guiding light. Know that nothing strengthens the heart like belief, and nothing weakens it like doubt. Choose belief and watch how your life, your heart, and your soul begin to transform. Trials are opportunities, not punishments. Hardships are tests meant to grow patience, faith, and reliance on Allah. True belief means continuing forward even when the path is unclear, trusting Allah's wisdom and timing. Life is not always easy, and sometimes it may feel as though the world is against us. We encounter problems that seem unfair, hardships that feel unbearable, and obstacles that block our way. At times, it is easy to think that these difficulties are punishments, signs of rejection, or proof that Allah is displeased with us. But my dear brothers and sisters, this is far from the truth. Every difficulty, every challenge, every trial we face is an opportunity, a chance for our faith to grow, our character to develop, and our reliance on Allah to deepen. What appears as a burden in the moment is often a hidden blessing in disguise, designed to elevate us spiritually and morally, even if we cannot see it immediately. The human mind is limited, and we often judge events by what is visible. We think, why did this happen to me? Why is my path filled with hardship while others seem to live easily? But the wisdom of Allah is infinite, and His knowledge encompasses everything. He knows the strength of our hearts, the needs of our souls, and the potential He has placed within us. Every trial is a test of this potential. Trials are not meant to break us, but to reveal what is truly inside us. They are opportunities to rise above weakness, to transform fear into courage, despair into hope, and pain into patience. Patience is one of the greatest lessons that trials teach us. When we face difficulty, it is easy to become impatient, angry, or frustrated. But patience is not merely waiting. It is waiting with trust, waiting with faith, and waiting with the belief that Allah's plan is perfect. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that no believer is afflicted with harm except that Allah forgives some of his sins, purifies his heart, and elevates his rank. Every challenge is a chance for purification. Every hardship is a chance to draw closer to Allah. The difficulties we face are like a furnace, testing our resilience, refining our character, and preparing us for greater rewards. Many of the prophets, peace be upon them, endured immense trials, yet they never lost hope in Allah. Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, spent hundreds of years preaching to people who refused to listen, yet he remained steadfast in his mission. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned unjustly, yet he remained patient, never doubted Allah, and eventually rose to a position of great honor. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced opposition, ridicule, and immense hardship in spreading the message of Islam, yet he never wavered. These stories are not just history, they are lessons for us. They teach us that trials are not punishments, but opportunities to demonstrate faith, to grow spiritually, and to achieve a higher rank in the sight of Allah. Sometimes our hardships are opportunities for reflection. They force us to pause, reconsider our priorities, and turn back to Allah. When life is easy and everything comes effortlessly, it is natural to become distracted, complacent, or ungrateful. But when difficulties arise, they awaken the heart, making us humble and aware of our dependence on Allah. They remind us that we are not in control and that ultimate power rests with Him. They give us the chance to reconnect, to make dua sincerely, and to seek Allah's guidance in a way we might never have done otherwise. Moreover, trials help us develop empathy and compassion. When we experience pain, loss, or hardship, we become more sensitive to the struggles of others. We learn to support, console, and inspire those who are facing their own difficulties. In this way, our trials not only shape our relationship with Allah, but also strengthen our relationship with humanity. They are tools for personal growth, moral development, and spiritual elevation. So, my dear brothers and sisters, the next time you face a difficulty, do not despair. Do not think that Allah has turned away from you. Instead, view it as an opportunity to grow stronger in faith, to purify your heart, to develop patience, and to earn immense rewards from Allah. Life's challenges are not meant to punish us. They are meant to guide us, uplift us, and shape us into better, stronger, and more resilient believers. Embrace them with trust, face them with courage, and endure them with patience. In this way, trials transform from a source of despair into a means of blessing, and every hardship becomes a stepping stone to success, contentment, and closeness to Allah. Trust transforms reality. Believing in Allah doesn't always remove challenges immediately, but it changes your heart, opens doors, heals, and brings blessings in ways you cannot see, because Allah is sufficient for those who trust Him. Trusting in Allah is not just a statement, it is a way of life, a principle that can transform the very reality you live in. So often we allow our circumstances, our fears, and our worries to dominate our minds. We measure our worth by what we have, what we achieve, or how quickly our problems are solved. Yet the heart that truly trusts Allah does not depend on the immediate results or the visible outcomes. It understands that Allah's knowledge is perfect, His wisdom is complete, and His timing is precise. When we place our trust in Him, our perspective shifts. We no longer see setbacks as failures, challenges as dead ends, or delays as denials. We begin to see them as parts of a bigger plan, pieces of a puzzle that only Allah can complete. Trusting Allah transforms reality because it transforms the heart. A heart that trusts Allah is at peace even when the world is chaotic. It remains patient when results are delayed, knowing that what Allah has planned is better than anything we could imagine. A heart that trusts Allah does not panic when doors close. It waits with confidence for the doors He will open. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us, if you rely upon Allah with due reliance, He will provide for you as He provides for the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and return full in the evening. Imagine the simplicity of this truth. Birds do not hoard, they do not stress, yet Allah sustains them perfectly. How much more will He sustain us when our hearts trust Him completely? Trusting Allah does not mean that life becomes free from hardship or that challenges vanish immediately. Rather, it changes how we respond to those challenges. When a believer faces a problem with trust in Allah, they do not despair. They do not complain endlessly. Instead, they take action to the best of their ability and leave the rest to Allah. They combine effort with reliance, action with dua, and courage with patience. This combination is transformative because it changes the energy of the believer's life. It turns fear into confidence, uncertainty into hope, and anxiety into serenity. Think about the people in our lives who have demonstrated complete trust in Allah. They are not the ones who avoid difficulties or pretend life is perfect. They are the ones who face challenges head-on, with unwavering belief that Allah will provide, guide, and protect them. Their faith radiates, their actions inspire, and their lives often witness blessings in ways that seem miraculous. Trusting Allah opens doors that logic cannot explain and brings solutions that the human mind cannot anticipate. When you trust Allah, the impossible becomes possible, not because the circumstances change instantly, but because your perspective, your strength, and your perseverance change. Trust also transforms relationships and interactions. A person who trusts Allah is less dependent on others for validation, approval, or control. They approach life with humility, patience, and kindness because they understand that ultimate outcomes rest with Allah. They forgive more easily, worry less about judgment, and live with a sense of freedom that comes from knowing they are under the care of the Most Merciful. When your heart is anchored in trust, your behavior becomes more balanced, your decisions wiser, and your life calmer. Moreover, trust transforms reality because it aligns your life with divine wisdom. When we stop forcing our own plans and start relying on Allah's guidance, doors open naturally, paths become clearer, and obstacles are removed in ways we could never have predicted. What once seemed impossible becomes achievable. What once seemed unfair becomes purposeful. What once felt like the end becomes the beginning of something greater. Trust allows the believer to step into uncertainty without fear because they know that Allah is managing everything perfectly. So, my dear brothers and sisters, if you want your life to change, start by trusting Allah completely. Stop worrying about outcomes beyond your control. Stop trying to force solutions that are not meant for you. Stop fearing what might go wrong, and instead, take action with sincerity. Make dua with hope and place your heart entirely in the hands of Allah. Trust transforms reality, not by altering Allah's plan, but by aligning your heart, mind, and actions with it. It turns hardship into ease, fear into courage, despair into hope, and limitation into opportunity. Whoever trusts Allah truly finds that nothing is impossible, nothing is final, and everything becomes part of a greater plan designed perfectly for them.